Back now with breaking news. Live pictures of northern Israel. About 3 a.m. there. Israeli F-15s, F-16s, F-35s would just be making the return flight now from Tehran and Iran, where they bombed a number of military targets there. With us now, Ambassador Kurt Volker, former U.S. Ambassador at NATO, distinguished fellow at CEPA. It's good to see, Ambassador. Thank you. At least so far, it appears as though these are pretty limited. Does that mean Iran calls it a month, as it were, and licks its wounds?
I doubt it. I think the Iranian rhetoric has been pretty strong as well, commenting on the assassination of these leaders of Hezbollah. And so I think they're going to see what the Israeli strikes are. We don't really know much about what the targets are the Israelis are hitting yet. We'll learn more about that tomorrow, I'm sure. But then I think Iran will want to choose a time and place to respond again.
There was enormous pressure by President Biden and his national security team on Israel to limit its response. There was the leaks of the U.S. intelligence assessments about what Israel's response was going to be. Does that prolong things, or does that at some point achieve this magical de-escalation or non-escalation that the administration's desired for the past 13 months?
Yeah, well, my personal view, Leland, is that that is the wrong signaling here. It encourages Iran, because if they know that we want to de-escalate, we know that they know we are trying to hold Israel back, they have no inhibitions as a result. So they unleash their proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, and feel that they can do so with impunity. It also tells Israel that we are not behind them. And that makes them want to strike out more on their own and be more assertive than they otherwise might, because they feel they have to reestablish deterrence on their own. So I think it actually produces the opposite of the intended result.
That is such a misunderstood point in Washington and around the world that you just made. It's that Israel is more restrained when they feel that the United States has their back. When they feel alone in the Middle East, they have to go out and establish deterrence on their own. As you look at the bomb damage assessment reports, the Iranians will lie about what was hit. The Israelis tend to be pretty quiet about this stuff. What will you be looking for in terms of whether Israel accomplished its mission?
Well, I think the most important thing that we should be looking out for is whether this is now something that takes place repeatedly, or is it a one-off? If it is a one-off, if Israel hits some military targets that they wanted to hit and they feel that it worked and made a difference, this may actually start to taper down. Iran's response may be lower as well. But if this is something where Israel took shots tonight, they do the battle damage assessment tomorrow, they try again tomorrow night, they do another assessment, they try again, this could actually be the beginning of a much larger phase of the war.
Yeah, you think about this 11 days before the election. Does Tehran put the U.S. politics and the election into its calculus in terms of a response?
Well, I think so, because I think both of them are looking, both Iran and Israel are looking at the U.S. elections, and they're probably figuring if President Trump is reelected, he will have a much tougher policy on Iran. He will certainly be willing to strike Iran from the from U.S. forces directly in order to impose some deterrence on Iran. That means Iran will probably try to get away with whatever it can get away with now before a new inauguration, if it's President Trump. And Israel also may be wanting to set the table as best it can before a Trump inauguration, when the pattern will change.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.